to let everyone know that we're still there. We didn't burn up. Yes, it's big, but we are open for business in Southwest Oregon. We're also really focused on the erosion control aspect of the fire, and we'll be seeking state assistance for that. Unfortunately, there wasn't really any significant dollars appropriated to the Forest Service for erosion mitigation. And what we're really focused, and OSU Extension Agent Frank Burris is involved with leading this section. We're really focused on erosion mitigation within the highest 20% in the burned area that will have caused the most impacted erosion into the Chetco. We're focused on really getting the riparian restoration up and replanting in along the Chetco for watershed health and, of course, salmon health, as well as preventing debris flow and landslides into the Chetco, which will mitigate any issues with sedimentation to the best of the ability for the Port of Brookings Harbor. We know that we're going to have significant logs and so forth that are going to come down the river, and all of those, of course, have to go through the port before they get to the ocean. We're also focused on salvage to the best of our ability. We're partnering with, of course, the Wild Rivers Coast Forest Collaborative on that effort. There's about 13,000 acres of matrix lands. For those of you who don't know, matrix lands are, of course, the harvestable land base within the Forest Service area that was burned. They're only proposing 1,500 of those 13,000 matrix lands to be harvested, which is less than 1%, which is not acceptable in my view. We can and are working with, of course, the Oregon Department of Forestry director and his staff, and the U.S. Forest Service District Supervisor Rob McWhorter on using state staff to expedite the necessary NEPA paperwork and studies so that we might be able to expand those salvage trees, because really it's capacity with regards to the ologists, if you will, within the U.S. Forest Service in order to really get into the salvage. We really want to use the Good Neighbor Authority to go ahead and use those salvage receipts for payment back to the state for their work, as well as focusing those dollars that we will generate from those receipts back into the forest landscape around and in and around the fire, so that we can get the replanting, we can get the erosion control accelerated and do more of it. I've just recently, with the heavy rains that we've had over the last 2 days in Southwest Oregon, have received photos of the sediment moving as we speak, covering roadways, and it's coming down in record levels. And just a side note, I had the opportunity to go up and tour some of the burned area, and you know we have a sudden oak death issue down there. Of course, the sod area, luckily, you know, it's a double-edged sword with sudden oak death, was not burned, because if it was, it would have caused a firestorm like no other.